Good morning again, grade 7 students, and our focus for today will be the use of the voice of the verb in varied contexts, and this is entitled Being Proactive in the New Normal. Now, our most essential learning competency is you're going to use the active and passive voice meaningfully in varied contexts, okay? So, to be able to have a successful and fun way of learning, you're going to read carefully and follow all the instructions given. So, first one is write in your notebook all the important details, answer all the activities with all your best, and feel free to ask for help from your facilitator or guardian. And remember, by heart, all the facts and ideas given. Okay? Now, specifically, this module will help you to distinguish the difference between the active and passive voice. You're going to change also active to passive voice sentences, and you're going to construct sentences using the voice of the verb, and you're going to use them meaningfully in varied context. Okay, so you have your pre-test in your module, and the direction given was write A if the statement is in active voice and B if it is in a passive voice, and write your answers before the number. Okay, so you're going to answer again them asynchronously. Okay, so now let us identify first what are transitive verbs. Okay, now transitive verbs are action verbs that have an object to receive an action. Okay, remember that intransitive verbs on the opposite are action verbs, but unlike transitive verbs, they do not have an object receiving the action. Now, the distinction between active and passive voice applies only to transitive verbs. Okay, so on that note, transitive verbs are action verbs that have an object to receive that action. So we have a given example there. I ate mangoes. So the subject is I. The transitive verb is ate. And what did I eat? So it is mango. Okay, so therefore the object is mango. Okay, now intransitive verbs are action verbs, but unlike transitive verbs, they do not have an object receiving the action. Example, the sentence is I cough. The subject is I, and the intransitive verb is cough. So that is following an SIV pattern in sentences. Now, so in your module, in the next activity that you have, you're going to write whether the given sentences or the given sentence contains a transitive or intransitive verb. So, example, I eat. So that is an intransitive verb. So you will be doing the same thing with the next of the sentences. When I say I cough, he closed the door, he closed the window, she rescued the victims, we drove to Monumento, and we talked. Okay, so moving on, the voice of the verb, it is a quality of the verb that tells whether the subject is the doer or the receiver of the action. Now, when I say active voice, it is used to indicate that the object of the sentence is the doer of the action, while the passive voice is used to indicate that the subject of the sentence is the receiver of the action. Now, how do we change the sentences with verbs in active to passive voice? Number one, identify the subject first. Okay? Then, identify the transitive verb and identify the object in the sentence. So, we have to give an example. BERTO delivers the mail. What is the subject? It is BERTO. Delivers, it is the verb, the transitive verb. What did BERTO deliver? It is the mail. So therefore, the mail is the object. Okay? Now, how to change sentences with verbs in active to passive voice? The object becomes the subject. Now, in the given example, we have BERTO delivers the mail. The mail, which BERTO, which is the subject, okay, will become the object in the opposite one, and the mail, which is the object, will be the subject. Okay, so it will be the opposite one. Okay, now how to change sentences with passive verb and active in active to passive voice again. Now, the third rule is attach the verb to the new subject, the be verb plus the past participle form of it. Okay, from the original sentence, Berto delivers the mail. So it is the mail is delivered by Berto. Okay? So therefore, moving on, the fourth rule says that you're going to write the new subject after the verb to be introduced by the word by. Okay, so the mail is delivered by Berto. So that is how do we form the sentences from active to passive voice. Okay? So I hope that everybody has learned something new today, and I hope to see you again next time. See you and keep safe.